And we're live. Welcome to Bothendsofthecourt.com podcast, April 16th, 2016. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
But we have a few reasons for that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, we're both in school, both working, both have a child, and I just had twins, so more children. And good dude LeBron here is expecting.
Right.
Or rather, his wife is expecting.
And then, of course, we have finals because we're basically in our senior years. And unlike high school, these classes are harder.
Yes.
It's like I really wish I had senior level classes at high school right now.
But the semester's winding down. Some of the madness with new babies is slowly settling out. So we're back at it for the playoffs, and we're excited because this has been one of the greatest regular seasons of all time.
Okay.
And it's shaping up to be the same in the playoffs.
So on that high note, talk about your guy.
So, of course, and I'll let dude LeBron cover Golden State's new record, but Kobe Bryant, my dude, ever since I've been in the NBA, watching as a fan, I've just loved watching him. Kobe Bryant went out with a bang, and hey, buddy.
Hi. Hold on, I'll be right back.
But you can look at his shooting percentages and harp on his threes and his number of shots and everything, but he did exactly what everybody was hoping he was going to do. He went into the game and he shot his little heart out and was awesome. And got stronger throughout the game, had an awesome fourth quarter. They actually won, which was pretty crazy. The poor Jazz, he's just eaten their soul his entire career. He's finally gone, Jazz fans. But no, I loved that game. That was awesome. Even though he took too many shots. Totally agree that he took too many shots.
Not too many shots. Too many
threes. No, you're right. He shot, 19 of 26 or some 16 of 29.
Yeah, he was like 55% from two, which is amazing.
Hit most of his free throws. He was awesome.
Yeah.
So just too many threes like this whole season has been, but who cares? It was awesome.
You got your win. Wouldn't that have been a letdown if you have lost after a 60-point game?
Yes. Oh, man.
And then to think that still didn't help the Jazz make the playoffs.
Right.
Because they needed the Rockets to lose.
They did.
But
they did.
Oh, well. Well, congrats, dude, Kobe. Now you have to find another guy. Maybe you can go with, what's his name, Hibbert? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys have growth? Okay. So let's go to the Warriors, who broke the Bulls record.
They did.
I thought it was going to happen at the beginning of the season. I did not think it was going to happen as the season progressed because they were losing some really odd games. It's like they had like a 26, 27 game win streak.
And then the Timberwolves beat them, the Nuggets beat them, the Lakers beat them.
It's like the worst teams in the West were beating them. But they were killing the Spurs in their first game, Cavs twice.
OKC,
they beat the OKC
Clippers
in that last bank-in 3.
Yep.
I mean, they won some really good games and they deserved the record. I just didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, they're probably ticked, even though they did break the record, because if they hadn't lost some of those stupid games, they'd be looking at 76-6.
Right.
But they just had some duds. And they're the favorites by a long shot to win the whole thing, so they're not too upset, but
yeah, I can see that their playoff road is going to be a little hard after they beat the Rockets, but we'll just have to see.
Yep.
At least they don't have to play OKC in the second round, right?
Yeah. I think they're happy that they'll only have to play one of the Spurs or the Thunder.
Yep.
They're happy about that, that's for sure.
All right, so do you want to get into predictions for the playoffs?
Let's do. We have here some very simple brackets that will be mirrored backwards on your screen, but we'll walk you through it. That's okay.
I can change that right now.
Okay. Well, dude LeBron changes that. We're going to start walking through these, and we're basically just going to go through our predictions of who's going to win and how many games, and then we're going to argue with each other. And that's how it's going to go. We both got our pens out, and here we go. Golden State, Houston. I'm going Golden State in 5.
5?
Yep.
I have them in 4. I mean, I just can't see anything that James Harden is going to do beat them.
My only reason to give the Rockets 1 game is because, well, there's 2 reasons. One, they took 2 games from them last year in the Western Conference Finals. Their matchup is there. Their effort level is almost never there, but their matchup ability, even their talent level is there to take a game or 2 even against the best. And with the history of having figured it out last season in a couple of games at least, I'm like, I'll give him 1 game. I think that James Harden is going to play better than he did today.
Okay.
And I think that Dwight Howard, honestly, so far in Houston, he has been their best playoff performer.
Yes, he's a star on the playoffs.
Golden State does not match up well against him. Bogut got in foul trouble. Azili cannot keep up with him. If he gets going, which today he was fine, it was like 14 and 11, not great, but if he gets going, he can still be a 35-point guy. He really can. Golden State does not have a good answer. Draymond Green is a spectacular interior defender, but against Dwight Howard, who is 6 inches taller, 5,000 times stronger, more athletic, he is an athlete born and raised, and Draymond Green's great, but I don't think he can guard Dwight. So if Dwight gets going, I give him 1 game. Basically what's going to happen is, if they get that 1 game, it's going to be because Dwight Howard and James Harden have killer games at the same time.
It's true. I just don't see it happening because I don't see this team being the same team that was like number 3 in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they were the 2 seed in the West.
2 seed? Okay,
yeah.
So yeah, they're not the 2 seed no more.
No.
They barely got in.
No, you're right.
With a Jazz choke.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
A couple of Jazz chokes.
All right. So, and even with Steph Curry rolling his ankle, they're going to win.
Oh yeah, he could sit out the whole first round and they'd win. Mm-hmm. But they need him back for the Clippers series. Sorry, Portland.
Let's go with that.
All right. So what do you got for the 4 and 5 matchup?
So I got Portland because I don't know what to think of the Clippers this year.
Okay.
I feel like they do really good, they do really bad. And it's just, I feel like with how well Portland performed last year in the playoffs, with Damian Lillard just going crazy,
yeah,
I just don't see the Clippers doing it. I mean, Chris Paul is still an elite defender, and it's going to cause Lillard some problems, but it's Lillard in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he's going to make that shot.
Interesting.
And I got them in 7.
In 7, I'm going with Clippers in 6. Simply because I think they have more talent.
Okay.
I think that at this point in their careers, Lillard is better than Chris Paul. Not much, but I think he's better, especially in the playoffs when you can shoot like that. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
McCollum has come on as a genuine second scoring star, and then after that, it really kind of tails off.
It does. It does.
And the Clippers, I realize they have some consistency issues. They have issues, but when you have like 3-4 guys at any given time that can just go off and score like crazy, and then you have a guy like DeAndre Jordan who his job is rebound and block shots, and he's super good at his job, I give it to them just because they have less holes than Portland. But I won't. If you end up right, then
I mean, they don't have Aldridge, which was very key.
Yeah.
But I still think they might win this one.
Okay.
All right. So next one is OKC and Dallas. What do you got?
I've been waffling on this, not on who's going to win. OKC's going to win, but in how many games? Because Rick Carlisle is a sneaky genius of a coach.
Okay.
And even against the Spurs last year,
yep.
I'm sorry, 2 years ago when the Spurs won, their only tough series was against
the Mavericks in like that first round.
Yeah, because when you get to the playoffs and you have a guy like Dirk who just does the same thing over and over and over, and for the last 5,000 years, no one has been able to solve it. He just does it over and over and over. You have a weapon that almost nobody else really has. Maybe Stephen Curry has shooting like that, but he's just this unending jump shot machine. And I feel like OKC will not solve that. They'll just have so much more offense of their own that they will win the series, but they're going to lose some. I really feel like maybe OKC in 7.
I have them in 5.
OKC in 5?
Yeah, Dirk is a weapon, but he's getting slower and older. He's not playing as much, and so the weapon isn't as effective. Hopefully, because of he can basically he's had rest, so he can play more in the playoffs.
Right.
But I just don't see him going far anyway.
Okay.
So I got him in 5.
I also feel like I'm not sold on Billy Donovan as the coach.
Yeah.
I think that the Mavericks will play close to their maximum potential every single game because their coaching and their professionalism is so high. And I feel like OKC is so much better than them, but they'll play like this, up and down like they always do. Mm-hmm. They'll kind of waffle a little bit. For a little bit they'll be this unstoppable juggernaut, and then all of a sudden they'll take 3 possessions off, and you're like, where did they go? And so we'll see. You might be right. But
one thing we have to give Billy Donovan credit for is the rotations on OKC, because he implemented where instead of having both Westbrook and Durant sit at the same time, he's staggered their playing.
Right.
And if you look at the stats, if they're both on the bench, they're an awful team.
Yep. If
they're both together, obviously it's amazing. But if one of them's on the floor, that stat goes away and they can keep up.
Yep. And in the playoffs, those are both pretty young dudes still. Mm-hmm. You can play them 38 minutes a game or more if you wanted.
They probably want to.
Yeah, and so as long as they stagger, so one of them's always playing, they'll still get plenty of time where they're both playing. I think you're right. That's a good thing for Billy Donovan. But overall, there's maybe like one coach in the league as smart as Carlisle, and that is Popovich, who we're about to talk about.
All right. So I got Memphis in 7. So I have this 5-1. I just feel like
4-1. You mean?
Oh yeah, 4-1. I just feel like the Spurs are going to just drop one game somehow. I mean, it is Memphis, but they have players that could win one game. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, I hate calling sweeps, but I'm going Spurs in 4. Again, they could drop one, but they have the most dominant defense that I personally have ever watched in my entire life. And Memphis does not have offensive weapons right now because of the injury. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
They're losing like all their best offensive players right now, but I'm going Spurs in 4.
All right, so now let's go to the East side. First round. Cleveland in 4. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah,
I can't stop myself from writing that in.
Yeah, I still haven't heard word on if Reggie Jackson's going to be at full strength. If he is, I'll still give Detroit maybe one win. If he's not, then it's a sweep. And I don't think he's going to be, so I'm going to go Cavs in 4. Yeah. But I will say, if he comes back from his abdominal strain and is at full blast, he's their motor. I think Detroit, mostly because him and Drummond are both matchup problems for the Cavaliers. But I'll say Cavs in 4, but we'll see.
And the reason why I'm so quick on this one this time is I feel like the Cavs are way better than they were last year.
Okay.
Like last year in the playoffs, like they were good, but like I thought that they were going to drop a lot more games than they actually did, especially with the players they lost. But this year I feel like Kevin Love is actually part of the team. And people aren't talking about, oh, Kevin Love, he's a waffle.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, he actually is good.
Yep.
All right, so this next one, Atlanta and Boston. That's hard.
It's hard for me to not go look at the score of the game right now. Let's do it instead. I think Atlanta's up, but I'm still going with Boston in the series.
All right, so currently Atlanta second quarter is up by 12, 37-25.
Atlanta's good, but I don't buy them in the playoffs ever. They've been good.
They were number 1 seed last year and they got swept. Right?
Yeah, it was horrible. Anyway, Boston in 6. I'm going.
The other thing about Atlanta is I remember like 2 years ago when they took the Pacers to 7 games and almost won.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take them 7 games again.
Okay. I think that the Cavaliers would rather see Boston than Atlanta.
Get payback for that shoulder injury.
Oh, yeah. Mostly because Atlanta has a very fluid motion offense, and the Cavaliers' weak spot is defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so they will have to be on their A game to always close out on shooters, always stay in front of those guards. With Boston, they're a great team, but the Cavaliers match up, so I think they just overwhelm them with talent.
Yeah, and I agree that Boston would be a better matchup for the Cavs. I mean, you saw what they did last year. It was just pure raw talent that won those games.
And it was domination.
It was like, LeBron, give me the ball.
Yeah.
I'm scoring.
Okay.
Because
someone else do something cool.
I lost Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Kyrie played good, but...
He did. Yeah, I'll go Boston in 6, but we'll see.
Okay, so now we have Miami and Charlotte. I'm going to go Miami in 6.
I think I'm going to go Miami in 5.
Okay.
Not that I don't like Charlotte, but basically, to me, Charlotte's season has been... People keep forgetting that Jeremy Lin's a good basketball player, and that now Charlotte takes 1 billion threes. They're like, oh, let's play Charlotte like we've always played. It really has seemed like that to me. I'm not trying to be like taking it lightly, but they just haven't taken Charlotte seriously. And I'm like, when I look at Charlotte, they're not talented enough to beat a team like Miami that has all these veterans,
right?
Champions, stars, a coach who has been there. I don't buy Charlotte in the playoffs. Not yet. You know, they're a little bit, to me, like the Jazz should have been this year. Mm-hmm. A young team with tons of talent that needed a playoff series to take the next step and be a real menace next year. I think that's all Charlotte's gonna get this year. I think Miami's gonna take them.
Yeah, and like Miami, they've done a really good job bouncing back from last year and from losing LeBron that year.
Losing LeBron, now they've lost Chris Bosh. You'd think with only one of their big 3 left, they'd be just in the dumps, but they're awesome.
Yeah, and it's like Spo is actually a kind of good coach.
Yeah, which hey, I'm surprised.
Right? It's like
now they did get Luol Deng, who's no LeBron, but a great player. They did get Joe Johnson, who again, he's not a megastar, but he is a solid, good shooting veteran, just kind of solid presence on the team. So they got great pickups. You got to credit their front office.
Yeah, and I guess it's just I always think that anyone that coaches LeBron isn't really the coach. Yeah. But I guess this kind of shows that he was actually kind of a coach.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Good job, guys. So let's go Toronto, Indiana. And we already know Indiana won by 10 today.
They did.
Come back. But I have Toronto in 7.
You know, I had picked Indiana before. I'm still going to go with Indiana. I'm not sure. It seemed like if Paul George doesn't just dominate them, they're gonna struggle. And also Lowry and DeRozan were terrible today.
Yeah.
And they are not gonna be terrible next time they play. They are gonna just go at them. And so I'm gonna go with Indiana in 6.
Okay. Wow.
And we will see how that goes down.
All right.
So
let the record show.
yes. So I wasn't lying. They're written down. Wow, yours showed up way better than mine. Okay.
Camera Pro.
Second round.
So let's go back to the West.
Okay.
So for me, I have Golden State, Portland.
Okay.
Portland
did lay a beat down on them in the regular season. Just saying.
I know. I'm going to give Golden State in 6. I think Portland can win 2.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
I have Golden State Clippers, and even though I do not believe Golden State lost a single game to the Clippers in the regular season, the 2 games that I watched were close. And the Clippers hate the Warriors.
Fair
They
enough.
will bring their A game. I'm gonna go. Man, I'm gonna go Warriors in 7.
Wow. It's a lot of faith in those Clippers that you've always hated.
I hate them. I hate
The Laker guy.
But no, I think they have talent, and we'll see. And as much as I detest Doc Rivers, he's a good coach.
Yeah.
Terrible GM, but he's a good coach.
All right, so I think we both have OKC and the Spurs.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for that series, man. To me, that's the second and third best team in the league. Meeting, I might not put OKC over Cleveland. They're kind of on the same level in my mind. But to me, that's second and either third or fourth team just going at it in the second round. I am so excited for that series.
I'm going Spurs in 7, and I feel like I'm dying inside saying the Spurs are going to hate my life. Sorry. I just think they're going to win.
Yeah.
I don't want them to win. I want OKC to win.
So, I'm just thinking about how that series is going to go, because Westbrook is going to eat alive any point guard from the Spurs that tries to guard him.
Yep.
He will crush them.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, I honestly would put Kawhi Leonard on Westbrook and somebody else on Durant. I really would. Westbrook shoots more than Durant.
Yep.
Westbrook handles the ball more than Durant. And he, at this point, is just as good as Durant. But he's a matchup destruction for Tony Parker, who's a great player.
Yep.
Patty Mills, great player, but they can't stay in front of Westbrook. They can't touch Westbrook. They can't even grab onto his jersey as he blows by them. So I would guard him with Kawhi, but I'm going to go Spurs in 6
Wow.
in OKC, and those poor Oklahoma fans are going to cry.
They are. Westbrook and Durant is the only two people I know on the OKC. I don't.
He's not being literal, but he's trying to make a point here.
Yeah, it's like Ibaka who? But those two guys, I mean, they just can't beat the Spurs.
No.
Because the Spurs are a team, and it's not a duo.
Yeah. And I heard Charles Barkley on live TV saying that Oklahoma is the deepest team in the league. And I was like, is he talking about the Sooners? Oklahoma?
Right?
They have 2 dudes. Cantor plays offense, but his defense is so bad that I don't consider him a real third star. Ibaka plays defense but doesn't play offense. So Cantor and Ibaka put together can be a third star. But you don't get to play 6 on 5. I didn't understand what he's talking about. He's like, Oklahoma is going to win because they're the deepest team in the...
Oh, the guy's crazy.
He is crazy, man.
He's funny.
He took too many hits to the head from taller dudes when he was...
He's funny,
playing.
but he's not very good at that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Spurs in 6. So, now, the Cavs' first test.
So I have them against Atlanta, and even if they were playing Boston, I have them 4-1.
4-1?
I feel like they're going to drop a game, just because I think Atlanta might just score really good one game. And like you said, they're fluid.
They are. The Cavs weren't terrible on defense. They were 10th in defense this year.
Which is a huge improvement.
It's not a huge improvement over their playoff team from last year,
Not
but
their
it's a
playoff
huge
team.
improvement over their regular
Yes.
season team.
That's why I feel like they're playing better.
Yeah.
It's like they're going into the playoffs
Yeah.
a better team than they were last year.
I'm also going to go Cavs in 5 over Boston. Although I will say, if Atlanta wins that series in the first round, that I don't think they're going to win, I would probably do Cavs in 7 over Atlanta. I think Atlanta just only matchup. It's not a talent thing; it's a matchup thing, and the style of play is tough on the Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
But I would still give it to the Cavs either way, so I'm not too worried about it.
All right, so this next one, I have Miami and Toronto. I have Miami, and I'm going to go 6 again.
Okay.
I mean, as I said before, I feel like they're just a better team. And again, when I think about a team and I can only think of 2 players on it, I don't have a lot of confidence in that team. Sorry, DeMar DeRozan and Lowry. Sorry, guys.
So, I've got Heat versus Pacers. I'm going to go Heat in 5.
Oh, yeah.
I think Paul George will blow them up one game, and other than that, the Heat are so much deeper, so much just better.
I mean, if the Pacers had hip... I'm just kidding. I can't even finish that sentence. My gosh.
If the Pacers had old Roy Hibbert,
Yeah.
or should I say young Roy Hibbert?
Defensive Roy Hibbert.
Yes.
I'd
still go with the Heat,
He
though.
can never score a point.
Yeah.
I remember those playoff games where you like...
Dude, him taking jumpers looks like Shaq taking jumpers, man.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
It's like if
okay.
they moved the free throw line back to the 3-point line and said, okay, Biggs, time to
Yeah.
shoot your free throws. What?
Now, I'm just going to point out, we both have Golden State and the Spurs, Cavs and Heat. I think, maybe I'm speaking for people I shouldn't speak for, but I think those are the matchups everyone wants to see.
That's true.
Because Golden State and the Spurs are historically good teams, and the history of the Cavs and the Heat and LeBron going back and forth, and
It's finally their rematch that they didn't get last year.
right. I think those are the matchups that everybody wants, and I think you and me are going to disagree on who's going to win these matchups. But let's go ahead. Golden State Spurs.
Spurs in 7.
Oh, that would be horrible.
Again, it kills my heart to say Spurs in 7 because that means that the Cavs are going to have to play those Spurs.
But you think they're going to do it?
I think they're going to do
no,
it.
No, I like that you say it what you actually think is going to happen, though.
Because I think Popovich is going to just beat them. It's like he was been watching them lose those 3 games during the season.
And he's like, I know just how to beat you.
Yep, and I feel like he purposely didn't win some of those games.
Okay. I would not be surprised at that. I'm going Golden State in 7. I just think that they are better, and that kills my heart because I love the Spurs. I love Golden State, but I would love to watch the Spurs destroy the Cavs in the finals.
Bother.
But I'm going Golden State in 7. I think that Curry is unsolvable, and so even though if he were solvable, Popovich would find the solution, but he's not. And he is something the NBA has never seen before. There's no way to defend him. They will have to change a rule like they did for Jordan. Because right now you can't defend Stephen Curry. Did you see any of the game today with them and the Rockets?
Not today, no.
Patrick Beverley is an ace defender. He was all over him. He was purposefully fouling him, hitting him hard, making him mad, starting a fight with him, anything he could think of, and it didn't matter. Curry dropped 24 on him in the first half, didn't even play the second half.
Right? I do agree. Steph Curry will beat any one defender, but he can't beat 2.
Yeah. Well, and you know,
that's
that game that the Spurs won in San Antonio, they held Curry down.
That was a defensive game, and that's why I think they can do it again. The key to that game was their switches and their ball, like their knowledge of where the ball was going to go.
Yeah.
It's like they forced Curry into a lot of bad shots, bad passes, and bad screens. Like, he wasn't able to get as open.
Yep.
He wasn't able to get the open looks, and he wasn't able to get the passing lanes. And those 3 things shut down a guy. You can't shoot, pass, or dribble. You're shut down. And that's what they did to that game. And that was, like, I think the lowest scoring game of the season for the Warriors.
Yeah.
I think they can do it.
Okay.
But like what you're saying, Beverly is amazing, but it's one guy. He can't do it with one guy.
Okay.
I see what
you're saying.
He's going to get screened off, and then Beverly's always chasing and then fouling, and you can hit him hard, but you need that team defense. And the games that they lost to the Warriors, they for some reason didn't do it, and I was watching. I was like, are they purposely not playing the same defense so that Golden State doesn't realize what happened?
Yeah. Popovich is one of the few coaches you could actually see doing something like that.
Right? Which is why it's so interesting.
If I'm wrong and the Spurs do win, weirdly, I do not think it will be because of Kawhi Leonard. I think it will be because of Aldridge.
Oh yeah.
They can't guard him. He's gonna have to. Obviously, you can't have your Aldridge be like Curry.
Right.
But as far as being kind of an unstoppable offensive threat, where he can pick and pop
Anywhere.
from anywhere. Anywhere. You get him the ball, and 2 seconds later, the ball is in the basket. Over and over and over. If he can be like that, then maybe the Spurs take it. And I would love it. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Now you're going to be disagreeing with me again.
I have I never have Miami. I have Cleveland because LeBron in 5.
In 5? Oh, it's just insulting.
Take that to the bank. 5.
I'm going Heat in 6.
Oh gosh. Defend yourself.
I think that one, the Heat are a happier team.
Okay.
Weirdly, at the beginning of LeBron's career, he was the perfect teammate. He always was cheerful, making his teammates laugh, helping them be happy. At the same time, he was a super serious competitor. Mm-hmm. He never took it too lightly, but he was a great teammate. He made the environment on the team fun. Everyone enjoyed playing with him. They knew he was the captain of the team and that he called all the shots, but he didn't lord it over them. Now he is like a dictator. He tells everyone, he bosses everyone around. Okay. He never smiles, and the whole team looks like this just kind of grumpy, unhappy, superstar talent, but unhappy team. And the Heat don't have quite as much talent, although they are super talented and deep. They are not as talented as Cleveland, but they are a genuinely happy team that is enjoying playing together. And I think that will make the difference. In the playoffs, when you're frustrated with every single thing you do wrong, if you have a guy like LeBron who drags you over to the bench and starts chewing you out in front of your teammates, you don't want to play for him anymore. And it's weird because he used to be the exact opposite. He used to be perfect as a teammate and a leader. And I think it's gotten to his head a little bit.
Okay.
And I think that the Heat will stay happy and stay calm and within their game. And even though they don't have as much talent, I think it's close enough that they will play better together as a team and they will win.
Okay. So I just looked up the Heat Cavs series this season, and Miami won twice. Out of 3 times.
Out of 3? Okay.
They lost their first game 102 to 92, and then they won the next one 99-84 and 122 to 101. And it's hard. I think the reason why I'm so confident is because I feel like Miami is somehow going to choke under the pressure. They're going to get there. I think they're just going to be beat up from the Indiana series for some reason. They might have an injury. Wade might not be playing as well, and I think that's just going to tip the edge.
Okay.
And I wonder if playoff LeBron is going to be different than regular season LeBron, because usually, like you said, he's historically been good at getting his teammates better.
Right.
I saw like a stat where he and the Big O are the only 2 players in the top 20 in points and assists.
Right.
So, he gets his team involved and he scores. And I think when his team is back in the Eastern Conference Finals and they're getting those passes from LeBron, they're going to hit it. And they're going to be pumped. They're going to be playing well. And they're going to win 4-1.
I will say, on the court while playing basketball, I think he does great still as a teammate that makes sure everyone stays involved. I'm more talking about leadership stuff on the bench, in the locker room. I feel like his teammates before loved him. I don't think they do now. I really don't. I don't sit right next to them. I don't overhear them talking, so I don't know that. But he puts out these weird tweets. He's just kind of gotten weird. He's gotten a little bit eccentric, like very famous people sometimes do. But we'll see. That might be a very small thing for me to be basing a prediction off of. But I think that the Heat are very talented, and people would be wrong to think that Cleveland's just going to walk all over them.
Yeah, and it's hard to see what goes on behind the scenes. Because, I imagine they do something together as a team.
Yeah.
And team eats. I don't know.
The only other thing is, in Cleveland, LeBron was young, and all his teammates were young. In Miami, he was mature, but his teammates were mature. Now he's the mature adult with young people.
Right.
And so there is a little bit of age difference now where he is the experienced playoff veteran who's been in the NBA for a long time. Irving, been to the playoffs once. Love, once. All of his other superstar talents are not veterans, really, in that sense of playoff experience. So I'm not saying he's like turned into a jerk, but I don't think that there is a team vibe nearly as strong as Miami has. That's all I'm going with. Anyways, moving on to the finals, we have different teams now.
We have different teams. So I have San Antonio, Cleveland.
Are you going to be...
I have to do it. Cleveland in 7.
Ah, you're so full of crap. Hey, I respect that you're being true to your heart instead of true to your mind.
I can't get rid of those. I'll never pick the Spurs to win a finals in any prediction.
Okay.
Ever.
No, hey, don't go
Drop
with
that.
Don't go
Drop
with
that.
with what your brain says. Go with your heart. That's fine.
I mean, I just remember Cleveland almost winning the finals last year against the Warriors with that team. Their team's better this year. I think they're going to win. I mean, 3 different shots and they would have won in 4. But again, it's basketball, and those 3 shots went the other way. But I feel like this time, it's going to happen.
Okay. I'm going Golden State in 5. I probably should call a sweep, but I'm not gonna.
Over the Heat?
Yeah.
What if it was the Cavs?
If it were the Cavs,
Would you do 6, 7, 5?
5.
Okay.
And if it were the Spurs, I'd probably call a sweep. Honestly, I think that if the Cavaliers make the finals, they want Golden State, not the Spurs. Spurs have their number. Even though in the regular season the Cavs took one from the Spurs, I think that Kawhi Leonard is as close as you come to a LeBron stopper. That doesn't exist, but he's as close as it gets.
Yeah, there's just some players in the league that will never have a stopper.
Right.
But
I think that either way, the West, if Golden State or the Spurs go to the finals, they will win. I would be shocked if they do not.
what if it was OKC and the Cavs?
Oh, that would be sweet, man. People talked forever about wanting a Durant versus LeBron because they were the 2 guys. Others have kind of come up and snuck up above them now as the best by...
Durant got destroyed that one time
He did. And so I think he would love the revenge, but if they get through the Spurs and Golden State, then
Who knows what's going
to happen. I know nothing.
Yeah, even if Golden State was to play Cleveland, I'd still give Cleveland.
You mean the Spurs?
I'd say Cleveland.
You went with the
Warriors.
Spurs. That's right.
And
Right.
the Cavs. I'd go Cavs in 4-3 because again last year.
Okay.
Like I feel like the Warriors have not improved as much as the Cavs have. Like the Warriors have just been more consistent, and they carried that over from last year.
Okay.
It's like they learned how to play, and so they keep doing it. But they can still drop 3, 4. So here is my predictions. Oh yeah. Cavs in 7.
Good luck with that pipe dream.
That means my picks means they've only lost 5 games all playoffs. Oh yeah.
Mine would be more than that.
Well, yeah, because
it would only be 5 because they lose
God.
1 here and 4 there, and they're out.
All right. So coming up, he is moving to a different state, all the way up north. So we're probably going to have to do something different with the webcam, where we'll have him on a Skype call. So we're going to see how that goes, and we'll do a demo probably in a week or so.
Yeah.
Recap what we've found out in round 1.
Yep. All right. So, what in round 1 is your favorite series?
It'll probably be OKC Dallas. I do like watching Westbrook and Durant play, even though they are kind of interesting fellows. I do like watching them win.
I think that will be the most competitive series.
And I don't see anything in the East standing out because my team is going to 4-0, and then the other teams I don't really care too much about. And then the West, I guess Portland Clippers is going to be close. So that's my other one.
Okay.
What about you?
If Lowry and DeRozan get their act together, Toronto, Indiana.
Okay.
Because I love Paul George.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
I do. Maybe I'll have to become Dude George now.
PG-13.
PG-13. There you go. Yeah, right. I got 3 kids, man. I'm like Dude G, maybe. Dude, never watch anything again. But mostly just because I love the Spurs. Maybe that series, but I think they're gonna just eat poor Memphis alive. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'll go Toronto, Indiana for my favorite series.
All right. Pen is dropped.
Pen is dropped.
So we're Bothendsofthecourt.com. I'm Dude LeBron.
Dude Kobe.
Retired. And here's our playoff predictions. Have a good
How
day.
many 60-point games has LeBron ever had?
No idea. Do you want to look that up right now on camera?
No. I was just...
Okay.
It's
All right.
not 6.
No. How many times has he shot 60 times?
50 times.
50.
0. That hasn't happened since 1983. Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that.